Warning. The following video is not intended for an audience under the age of 13. Do not watch the video without a guardian or parent present. That is all.
Rumble is red, Frenzy is blue, and I feel as though a Unicron Trilogy tribute is long overdue. So, to nobody's shock and or horror, well, my college campus has shut down for the rest of the year. So get used to seeing me here, I guess. Whatever. So I guess this might shock a lot of you if you're new here, or if you aren't, then it might also shock you. Welcome to the show either way. That I don't tend to have a lot of nostalgia for Transformers, unfortunately. Now then, don't get me wrong, I did have a few of the toys growing up, but I didn't have a lot of them. And honestly, a lot more of my nostalgia for toys as a kid is rooted in Lego than it is in Transformers. Honestly, I kinda regret spending so much time focusing on Legos. Then again, one of the few Transformers that I had received in between when I was little and, well, when I was old enough to make my own choices and get my own Transformers was, well, Power Core Combiners aerial bots, so maybe that was for the best that I kinda missed out on that line. Whatever. So today, I figured it would be a perfect opportunity to discuss the Unicron Trilogy. And oh boy, that part of the franchise is not controversial in the slightest now, is it? Ha ha ha, said no one absolutely ever. Point is, I'm talking about the mini-cons from Transformers Energon. So first up, we have Grindor, who is a hovercraft of some description, I believe? At least it's decently painted in this mode, and like the other modes. I do like the metallic orange they've used here for the, like, stripes and such, but I cannot claim to be too big a fan of this whitish, grayish, yellowish color that they've used here for the wings. I don't know, maybe it's just the plastic showing its age, but it doesn't look great. And really, that's all I think I can say about this mode. Apart from this joke.
My hovercraft is full of eels.
Seems about right. Next up, we have Sure Shock, who forms the ATV. And, well, in this mode, that white plastic that I really don't like is put on full display here. You can clearly see the fists here from the sides that are used in the robot mode as well as the combined mode. But on the plus side, he does have a pair of power link pegs, which means that if you transformed him into robot mode, you could probably activate two gimmicks at once. Though what's also cool about Sure Shock is that you can take these little holes under here that are meant for his combined mode when he forms the chest of Perceptor, and you can stick it onto the Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime's guns here, like so. Which I'm going to say counts as unofficial power linking. And no, I'm not making this up. Look, see? Fits on there pretty good. And lastly, and by all means leastly, we have the Minicon Highwire. And the term high probably best describes the designer that made this figure because, oh god, it's just awful. It's just a real downgrade from the original Highwire, honestly. Especially when we get to robot mode, but all in due time. It's got the most white plastic out of all of the mini-cons in this set. And also the least amount of paint. In fact, we will see in robot mode that his head gets absolutely zilch, and it really suffers for it. Though I guess the plus side is that his Minicon insignia is picked out here in yellow paint, which I kind of weirdly appreciate on this figure. Can't see why the other two didn't deserve that treatment. I just don't really like this guy, especially in robot mode. So let's get on to those robot modes, I guess.
Transformers, more than meets the eye.
All of these robot modes, for lack of a better term, are charming, but they are incredibly goofy. Sure Shock is, well, impossible to balance and completely unpainted, and he has a terrible chest. A terrible official chest, I might add. You're supposed to leave it with the ball joint exposed and not use the other side that actually has, well, a mini-con insignia? What? That's just stupid! And, well, we do also have the backpack. You're supposed to leave it dangling from behind him as a butt pack, but that's just dumb. Same with the wheel arms. This didn't work well on Nightbeat, so why would you use that idea again? Learn from your mistakes here, hashtag, is all I'm saying. And the worst part is that his visor isn't even painted. God, that's just so depressing. Next up, we have Grindor, who's a little Cybertronian dwarf with terrible body issues. And he also does have gun fingers, kind of like that one Eggman robot from the start of Sonic Unleashed. Though, I guess on the bright side, he does get paint on his eyes, but when we transform him for the Perceptor mode, he will become incredibly phallic. And lastly, we have Sure Shock, who, for some reason, I weirdly expect to start singing the Baby Shark song. I have no idea why. Maybe it's just the vulnerable eyes? This robot just looks wrong. I mean, the goofy arm is there's... What the heck is with this little cockpit here? No pun intended. It just looks so wrong. This robot was... The other two are okay in that they're vaguely anthropoidal, but this guy's just so weird and not very good looking compared to the other two. At least he's better than Highwire, though. That much I can give him. But really, I feel as though I should probably stop talking shit about these three. I feel as though they have enough to deal with that bastard kicker. Wait, was that the kicker? God, that's a terrible joke. What am I even doing here? Anyways, let's get them combined and show you the real reason you're watching this video. Now then, in order to transform these three into Perceptor, you basically need to bisect Grindor into a pair of trousers that make him look like a Cybertronian Majin Buu. Then you basically need to extend out Highwire's arms and flip down his enormous chest thingy. Then you basically turn Highwire upside down, bend his head back really far like this, and then you plug him into the back of Grindor. Then the bike seat forms a very awkward pair of shoulder pads. The head looks pretty cool on this figure, I'll give it that much, but not very good, honestly. It doesn't have very much articulation. The most you can manage is just like having him point his arms forward and having him maybe look around a little, though that does move the shoulder pads with it. Its legs can kick forward, its feet can bend down, and it does kind of have ankles. Not very good, but it is weirdly fun in a way. And that's the kind of whole MO of Energon, as I understand it. It's kind of the perfect balance between everything that's fun about Transformers and everything that can be so unbearably naff about them. This thing is certainly in there somewhere. I can't recommend him if you're just a collector. If you love minicons, I can kind of recommend him because I get the appeal of small bots. I've got a few Legends and Legions figures to prove it. I can recommend everyone here except for Highwire. I think his ball joints have degraded somewhat in the over decade and a half since its release. It's just not very good anymore. Can I recommend him to Energon enthusiasts? Yes, because unfortunately he was in the show as a freaking car washer. Poor Perceptor. And interesting fact that you may not have known about Perceptor, in Japan I believe, he was actually known as Cliff Jumper. At least I think he was. Same goes for the little other Perceptor that was made in Armada. I believe in Japan he was known as Bumble, which is the Japanese name for Bumblebee. Honestly, I can kind of see it. Unfortunately, over here we couldn't call them Bumblebee because Hasbro lost the copyright to that name. And I'm not sure why we couldn't have called this one Cliff Jumper. Maybe it was just so that kids from Armada wouldn't confuse the two. With that out of the way, I'd like to remind you all to like the video, comment down below, share it with your friends, of course. Don't forget to do the most important thing of all and subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you know when I'm uploading my next video. And of course, well, please have a nice day, and I hope none of you go crazy from the quarantine. Also, I look forward to seeing more Unicron Trilogy representation in future Generations lines, especially with Armada's birthday coming up, isn't it? I look forward to seeing anything that comes out, whether it's the Galaxy Upgrade Optimus, the Hotshot that was released, don't want that, or if it's that weird Armada Prime that they showed off, which they don't know what to do with. Please, Hasbro and Takara, do a Generations release! It's the future we all want! So with that being said, this is Firebright27, over and out.